Hello everyone, I'm Sahith Reddy here and welcome to the Untold Voice video series Knowledge Integration Network. Today we are at the Madara city, Abu Dhabi, and we are having Mr. Nigel with us, the senior blockchain consultant and a senior analyst. And he's gonna share some of his insights with us today. So hi Mr. Nigel, how are you doing?
Good, thanks.
So I'm having two very important questions for you today.
Sure.
My first question is, beyond Bitcoin, how blockchain is going to change the world and the way we do business in future?
Sure. So that question sort of has two parts, and the first part would be how it's going to change the world. And I think when you look at blockchain technology, yes, Bitcoin has been the thing we've seen already, but what Bitcoin proved is as a system for basing cryptocurrencies on, blockchain works very well. And so I think as far as changing the world is concerned, cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology will allow for much wider inclusion of the unbanked and underbanked. So all of the people around the world right now who don't have access to financial services, blockchain technology will allow access, and then from there will allow them to participate in the global market very seamlessly. So that's something that will change the world. When you look at the second part of the question, because although that's going to change the world, but it doesn't actually mean we're doing things much differently. Blockchain and cryptocurrency is really disintermediation. So the market itself, in that example, when you bring more people in from an inclusion perspective, the market is still operating essentially the same, just with the intermediaries removed. From changing how we do business, I think that side of it needs to come back to the discussion around self-executing smart contracts, and then on the back of self-executing smart contracts, micro-capitalism. So the micro-capitalism is an example where everyone can have their latent computing power in their smartphones or their laptops sitting at home that are not being used, say, overnight, or they're being underused, underutilized. You will be able to rent that computing power out and earn credit through the blockchain for executing and validating these smart contracts. So that's where the micro-capitalism comes in. So everyone with a smart device becomes a capitalist, a micro-capitalist, and they're able to earn from those devices. The self-executing smart contract side of things is when you have information and contracts bound onto the blockchain through code rather than legal agreements written, in just long form. From there, the contracts become automatically executing, and that changes everything. So perhaps the easiest example to sort of throw out there is car insurance, where today service contracts for car insurance are time bound. So you say from this time to this time and you pay the contract. But what blockchain will allow us to do is to have performance or function bound contracts rather than time bound. So in that car insurance example, the car is no longer paid to be insured for a period of time. It's paid to be insured when you're driving it. And when you're not driving it, it's sitting idle at home, or it's sitting in a car park, the rate drops or goes away because the rate will be reflective of the risk, and it's paid at real time. So as you're driving down the highway, you pay for your insurance as you go. That's probably, I think that's a powerful example of the way business will change in the future.
Oh wow, a wonderful example. So Nigel, my second question is, what's the one thing you always wanted to contribute to society as a whole for the betterment of the future generations?
Yeah, so the one thing I think my message on that side would be, we're fortunate to live at a point in time where it's a technological inflection point. So I remember not having a cell phone, and I remember not having the internet. But children these days will not have those memories. So we are able to, we can bridge that gap. But it also means that we were, as we were growing up, we would developing in a very different environment. And I think that the message that I'd have for society, and I guess it applies to the more mature society, so people in their 20s upwards, 20s and older, is we will need to have discipline to update our beliefs and behaviors based on an availability of better information. So making the distinction between more information and better information, particularly, taking blockchain technology, Internet of Things, big data, all of these things, all these complementary technologies, they're going to give us lots more information, but more importantly, they're going to give us better information.
Okay.
And with better information, we as society need to be able to have that discipline to take that better information and change our beliefs and behaviors.
Okay.
Because we weren't conditioned to do it when we were, growing up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. It wasn't a thing. Whereas now we have no excuse not to really take the opportunity and utilize it to its potential.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Nigel,
You're very welcome.
giving your insightful information.